26 civilians killed in Kashmir Attack. India blames Pakistan-based militants. Pakistan warns of imminent Indian strike. Nuclear threat looms over South Asia. Water treaty suspended. Regional fallout begins. Welcome to Prepper's News from Prepper's Paradigm. News and global events with a Prepper's perspective. I use a computer-generated voice because my own is hard to understand due to an injury. Today, we're covering rising tensions between nuclear-armed neighbors India and Pakistan. A recent terror attack has pushed both countries toward a dangerous confrontation with global consequences. Let's break down what's happening and what it could mean for preppers. On April 22nd, a deadly attack in Indian-administered Kashmir left 26 people dead, most of them Hindu tourists. They were visiting the scenic Baisaran Valley near Pahalgam when gunmen opened fire. The group behind the attack calls itself Kashmir Resistance, a name that hadn't been widely known before this incident. Indian intelligence says the group is directly linked to Lashkar-e-Taiba, a Pakistan-based terrorist network with a long history of operations in the region. The Indian government has held Pakistan responsible, calling it a state-sponsored act of terror. Pakistan denies any involvement. In response, Indian authorities launched a massive crackdown. Around 2,000 people have been detained, and dozens of homes belonging to suspected militants were demolished. This rapid response has triggered anger across the region and raised concerns about unrest escalating within Kashmir itself. Tensions have climbed rapidly since the attack. On April 29th, Pakistan's information minister warned that India could launch a military strike imminently, citing credible intelligence. In response, Pakistan has placed its armed forces on high alert. Defense Minister Khawaja Asif went further, publicly stating that any Indian aggression would be met with what he called a crushing response. He added that if Pakistan's survival is threatened, nuclear weapons are not off the table. Meanwhile, along the line of control, both sides are already exchanging fire. Pakistan claims it has shot down 2 Indian drones in recent days, while India accuses Pakistani forces of repeated cross-border violations. The rhetoric has grown more severe with each day, and neither side appears willing to back down. The fallout from the attack isn't just military, it's diplomatic and economic too. India has suspended the Indus Waters Treaty, a major agreement from 1960 that governs water rights on rivers flowing between the two countries. This treaty has survived wars and decades of hostility. Its suspension is a clear signal that things are different this time. Pakistan called the move an act of war and says it will challenge it at the World Bank and the International Court of Justice. At the same time, both sides have expelled each other's diplomats. Airspace between the two countries is closed. Bilateral trade has been halted. India has revoked all existing visas for Pakistani nationals, and Pakistan is preparing to follow suit. The impact is already being felt on the ground, especially in Kashmir. Over 1 million tourist reservations have been canceled, and nearly half of the region's state-run resorts are now shut down. This isn't just a regional conflict. It's a flashpoint between 2 nuclear-armed nations. If even one side miscalculates, the result could be catastrophic, not just for South Asia, but globally. A nuclear exchange would create massive fallout, disrupt global weather patterns, and crash supply chains in a matter of days. Even without nukes, war between India and Pakistan would hit key industries, especially pharmaceuticals, textiles, and software services. Shipping lanes in the Indian Ocean could be affected, and that would ripple across fuel, food, and medical supplies. The water dispute over the is another warning. Conflicts over water are increasing worldwide. When one nation uses water as a weapon, it sets a precedent that others might follow. Preppers should take note. Supply lines can break without warning, even if you're halfway around the world from the cause. Now is the time to make sure your basics are covered. Food, water, fuel, communications, and security. The situation remains tense, and the next 48 hours are critical. India's government is under intense pressure to respond. With elections approaching, leaders are unlikely to appear weak in the face of terrorism. Pakistan's military remains on high alert, reinforcing positions along the border and calling for international attention. Back-channel diplomacy is underway, with the U.S. and other global powers urging restraint. But so far, neither side has shown signs of backing down. If things escalate further, we could see cyber attacks, airstrikes, or worse, all of which could trigger global consequences fast. This isn't fear-mongering. It's a reminder that the world can change overnight. A conflict between India and Pakistan wouldn't stay local for long. Nuclear weapons, water wars, and collapsing trade routes all carry real consequences, even for those of us thousands of miles away. If you haven't reviewed your preps lately, now's the time. Check your food stores, water supplies, comms gear, and backup power. You don't need to panic, but you do need to stay ready. If you found this update useful, like, share, and subscribe. For more analysis and practical advice, visit our website, linked in the video description. Thanks for watching Preppers News, your channel dedicated to news and current events from a prepper's perspective.